Here I am. Hello, I'm trying to remember how to do all the things I used to know how to do. Um, which is put us in the stream. How we do that? Oh, I know what I have to do. Sorry, it's been a minute.
Take your time. There you go.
Hi, there we go. I'm relearning. It's a new year. It's new things. Hey, welcome to the Arts Exchange Power of Words author panel. My name is Theresa Davis. I am your host. And today we have the fabulous Theresa the Songbird with us. But I'm going to do the pleasantries, which is tell you about our funders because you need to know this thing so that you can aspire to become one of them. Yes. The Arts Exchange, the Southeast Community Cultural Center, doing business as the Arts Exchange, receives support from the Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia Board of Commissioners, the Georgia Council for the Arts under the guidance of the state Georgia legislators, and support of the National Endowments for the Arts, the Community Foundation, Greater Atlanta through a place to perform grant, Fidelity Charitable, the estate of Dr. Doris Derby, and Peach State Healthcare Plan. Our literary programs are made possible in partnership with South Fulton Institute. Support is also provided by our individual business donors and members. We encourage you to become a supporter. And please come check out all the exciting things we have going on at the Arts Exchange. But today, good people, we have Theresa the Songbird. And I have had the honor of being mistaken for her until people figured out I can't sing. It's true. How are you, Theresa?
I am excellent. I want you to know that I get mistaken for you. My mama called me yesterday and she's like, don't you have something going on? Oh, the other day, she's like, you got something going on the 27th, don't you? I said, no, ma'am. She said, yes, you do. I'm looking. I said, no, that's the other Theresa, Mom.
I love it. Yay. So even though I cut my locks off, we can still be mistaken for each other.
We can still be, exactly. Theresa gang. They don't know. We roll solid. We roll tough.
I know. I cut my hair off. We've been inside for 2 years, so ain't nobody seen me in person. For real. So it's been a while.
Yes.
How have you been, and how have you used this time that we've had to like kind of recharge ourselves after being kicked off the grid for 2 years and then getting back into things? How are you doing with all that other than being fabulous?
I am working on embracing fabulousness, right? I'm one of those people who did well in the midst of quarantine. I was blessed in that I had saved my little ducats. I had saved me a few little ducats before we got into quarantine. And then in the midst of quarantine, I signed a book deal. I did a really big project with Facebook. And between like that kind of has changed. You know, it's a lot of po in poet. So having the things that happened to me during 2020 and 2021, it changed. I don't want to be like I'm a rich it, but I don't know what we call that now. It's a new space for me, in all honesty. Like, I have been on the grind a long time. For, you know, you are one of the people who has known me a while. So, you know, Theresa who rode the Megabus, Theresa who rode the Greyhound to get to all the gigs she was getting to. Now, Theresa fancy. Theresa don't even get on Spirit. You understand what I'm saying? We don't play them type of games. We don't play them type of games at all anymore. And all of it is a new territory, in all honesty, that I'm really like learning how to embrace day to day. Because, like, you know, you Black in America, you're a woman trying to be an artist. Like, a lot of the character of this space is like getting it out the mud in general. Like, I'm used to knowing how to make it work. And now, like, knowing how to make it work with resources is a little...
I know, right? It makes a world of difference. You're like, wait, you're actually going to support me in this endeavor.
Exactly.
I don't have to struggle bus it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's changed a lot for me too. I think my view on my art and how I art in the world changed.
Yes.
So like before the pandemic hit, I was like 6 to 7 days a week out in these streets performing, hosting things, doing all this stuff. And then, there's nothing like waking up one morning and like literally losing half of your income for the year, and the year ain't over, right? And it was like one of those places where, I mean, I was in the fetal position Spice Girl for like a couple of months. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like you, I had some ducks saved, but I'm like, I can pay rent. The water will still come on,
Right.
but
I will survive.
I will, but like, what now? And so I think on the other end of it, coming back, it's like, I don't have the desire, the drive to kind of like tour like I used to. I mean, I
Right.
don't mind an occasional tour, but my focus mostly has been getting back into spaces where young people are not allowed to be creative. So I've been like really embracing teaching
Yeah.
artists and like going into classrooms, or just like having my friends who are teachers who are just like so overwhelmed with all the stuff they can't do, which is why they became teachers in the first place. And they'd be just like, "Can you come and hang out with my kids?" And I'm like, "Yes, if you can buy me a sandwich, we're good. I'm back there." With some of it. Now, that's not for everybody. Some of y'all got budgets. But yeah, I mean, so I think that I've kind of come around to this other place, and getting back into my writing. Like, I've written 2 YA novels that I've never done anything with. They're just sitting on the computer looking at me like, "Girl, we here." And so I think that now might be that time for me to go and think about where we are now, and what these kids need, and like revisit that space. So I want to ask you about your book. I've heard you do that's a poem that has been in your repertoire for a little bit, right?
Yes.
And it's gone through some edits.
A whole bunch of edits. Because, I'm a long
Yeah.
winded poet. I like a good 5-6 minutes. That's why I could never slam. That's why y'all never saw me at the Java Monkey. Because, honey, I'm DQ'd every time, but I'm finna get my point across. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have 3-minute poems. It takes a minute. But I'm lucky because I do come from like an acting background. I come from a background of doing a lot of work where I had to edit large pieces down, like, 2 hour long plays. I have to edit them down to 10 minutes for competition for other high school. I came out of speech in Illinois. So like, that's when you become like an editor of other people, of like masterful works, and you learn how to take that down to 10 minutes. It's nothing for me to put my ego aside and be like, oh, you need this poem, but you need it short form. Let me give you that. And I'm
Yeah.
aware enough, like I had the opportunity to edit that poem. I wish y'all could have been there. I edited You So Black for TV while I was getting my makeup done. So I wasn't writing it down. I was editing it in my brain, and I had to send it to the producers like that minute. So I'm editing in my brain and talking into my notepad. And what I spoke into the notepad is what I sent them. And I think they might have cut maybe 4 lines of what I performed for what made it onto television. And then from what made it onto television to what ended up making it into the book, I think maybe another 3 lines that didn't make it into the book. And that was really just because of the amount of pages that were going into the book, and the language, because this is for, young, very, very young readers. It's geared, it's classified as a picture book. So it's for children who are just learning how to read. And in that space of also, like, I love that it's also in the space of bonding. So a book that adults will be reading to children as well. And I think that's important for the grown-ups in the process, but it has been an easy edit. in every situation. It's not like I toiled over what was going to go. I didn't cry and lay in prostrate for the lines that didn't make it. I understood in each maneuver, I understood why those lines didn't make it. I understood the process that was going into it. So there was no ego in saying, okay, no worries.
Yeah. Now and editing is something I've never been great at. I can't edit my own work, and I don't know if it's ego or if it's I get into rewriting.
It's
It's like
love.
I get distracted by myself. I'll be like, oh, I should have reworded that, and I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing, Theresa.
And that's what I mean by ego. I don't
I
mean like it's a prideful thing. It's just that visceral love for it it can get in the way.
Yeah.
It can get in the way when you got to get that thing down 6 pages. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you, the first time, my first book, when I got my first copy back from my editor, there were so many red marks. I clutched all the pearls that I was not wearing. And then I decided in that moment I would never use a red ink pen to grade my children's work ever again. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay.
Traumatized. How the meme say, emotional damage.
Like that. Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, but that's so awesome. That's such a wonderful skill to have, to be able to edit on your feet. Like when I try to do that, worse things come out of my mouth, and so I can't, because I've been asked to edit on the spot on a mic, and I'm like, that's not how my brain works. So that one curse word that you wanted me to take out is going to turn into a worse curse word, and I know this, and I think you know this. So,
and I pride myself on being a masterful, what I call auntie certified in the curse word territory. On both my mother and my father's side of the family, I have aunts who worked in the high school educational system. And if you know anything about a high school teacher, especially when it's tenured, they can't be fired. Oh, you know, they got some spicy language for you. So a good these is my best cussing aunties I've ever had, and both of them, they be on my back. I carry them with me everywhere I go when I hit these stages. So I be ready to cuss it up too. But I got to pray when you go and you do these family functions in these schools and these assemblies and stuff. I be like, all right, look, Lord, I need you to, I need you to guide my tongue.
Yeah, that's me. The shifting of gears is what gets me a lot of times. Like, okay, teaching college kids is way different than teaching elementary kids. You gotta like double dutch your way into which lane you're in, But like, I feel like I love what you said about involving parents in or adults into reading books to their children. And I think that this new wave that we're going to have and we're going to see a lot of is us reiterating literacy to our young people. Because while some young people flourished during that time away, some did not. And the system, this just kind of like brushes them under the rug and just lets them keep going. And
the pipeline is real,
Yeah, and I love that idea of just reading with your child, because I mean we had so much of that growing up, but I think we grew up in way different times. We had no internet, we had no YouTube, there was no such thing as an influencer, and so we kind of had to interact with each other socially, like for real. But like this other thing is just kind of like it there. I see the positives, but I also see the trepidation and the weariness, of what it takes, what it lacks. But I want us to share some. I want you to share some of your book. You don't have to share the whole thing, but look, we're twins. Ooh, it's so pretty, and we so black. What?
Yeah. You So Black by Theresa Tha Songbird and illustrated.
I'm gonna give you the whole screen.
Here we go. You So Black by Theresa Tha Songbird, illustrated by the awesome Mr. London Lad. Let's see if we can get this right, because I've only done this like a couple of times. Okay. You So Black. Wait a minute. Bam. There we go. You so black. You so black. When you smile, the stars come out. You so black. When you're born, the God come out. Black is not. Black when it's wrong. Black when it's right. Black is pyramids and mathematics. Black is melanized and magic. Black with privilege. Black with pride. Black on purpose on the black hand side. Black and beautiful. Black and blessed. Black and so much more. Black and nothing less. Black is brilliant. Black is strong. Black is resilient. Black is song. Black is infinite, like hip-hop or space. Black is grace. Black is love. I'm going to stop right there for you guys. That's You So Black by Theresa Tha Songbird, illustrated by London Lad. If you want to hear more, we'll tell you where to go. Just stick with us. I'm telling you, I'm good at this. They should have me hosting the show all by myself. Not this one, of course. I mean, like, you know, Good Morning America or something like that. I don't want Theresa to think I'm trying to.
No, Theresa just needs to remember her controls and how to use the friggin' thing. That's awesome. Thank you. Yay. Reading upside down is a skill, right?
Man, and backwards, because you know this program flips everything. So I'm trying to get everything in frame. Yeah, I'm getting better at it as we go.
Yeah, that's one of the things when I taught elementary school. It was like the first time I read upside down and backwards, the kids were like, "You don't know what you're doing." I was like, "You're in first grade. You don't judge me, sir." But you might be right.
New technology for me. I know it's been around your whole life, but I just got it. Relatively speaking.
No, but I love it. I love it. I can't wait for. I'm just so excited, and the images in this book are so beautiful.
Man, he did
like that one where you said black is grace. I'm like, I want that T-shirt. So hopefully more things are going to come out of this. But I know you are going to be all over the place with this, and this is going to do well because I think Atlanta community is definitely going to support our own. But tell us, where should we find your lovely, lovely, lovely book?
You can find You So Black everywhere that books are sold. You know, I'm happy to have people buy them from wherever book source makes them comfortable, but I encourage everyone to try to support your local bookstores, to have a book that I expect the book to do well. I would like to see the book sell out. I would like to see myself on New York's bestseller list, and to have that happen, and also to flush a business with new business coming in to support this book would be fantastic. So supporting your small, locally owned bookstores, going in and asking them to, you know, do you have this book? And if not, will you order it for us? Will you order a case for us? That is the ideal place to be in. But it is available wherever you want it to be available. If you are following me, it is 1-2 clicks away on all of my social media platforms.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to have, I'm going to be at the Georgia Center for the Book, which is the Decatur Library. I will definitely ask them to put it there. And any town that you live in, folks who are listening or watching, ask your local library for a copy, and so that we can get these in the hands of young people who may not have the opportunity to go and buy a book, but they can totally go and borrow a book from the library, or, you know, have a library reading day where folks can, hear the book being read to them upside down and backwards, which we know is a skill. Um,
Well, the plus
I
side is
wanted to
that I know my book by heart. So so I'm not really reading as much as I am making sure that I'm saying the right line on each page.
right. That's awesome. So let me ask you this: when you're so starting your life as a spoken word artist, a poet, a musician, did you see yourself writing children's books?
Not the way I was cussing on stage. I know. And even in the respect of this book being created, it's not that I went seeking this to happen. There was after the poem went viral, I did a lot of interviews at the time, and one of them was with a sister named Denise Milner, who was doing a show with Georgia Public Broadcasting. And she asked me to come to her radio show. I did the show. And after the show, she was like, you should get this made into a children's book. And I, how we, oh, yeah, you're right. And I just kind of let the idea go. And she asked me a couple more times before I said yes.
Yeah.
So it was really her putting this whole process together. It was her who found London Lad to do the illustrations. So, as much as I am grateful that this book exists, but as much as it is mine as a book, it also, I think definitely a lot of the credit has to go to Deneen for having the idea that this is the avenue it should be displayed in, and her and to London for collaboratively understanding what the imagery should be, because I don't think I could have explained it as well as it has been laid out in this book.
Yeah. No, I'm a firm believer in when you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to knock on the doors of opportunity. The doors of opportunity just fling themselves open for you. I had the same reaction when the publisher approached me about writing my first book. I was just like, yeah, we just did a show together. Everybody's excited. See you later. I did that like 3 or 4 times until he sent me an email in all caps, and I knew I was being yelled at, and he was serious. So, so it's like, sometimes you're like, I'm doing these things that I love, and that's a whole opportunity in itself. And then someone else says, hey, actually, and you're like, oh, okay. And then they say, no, for real, lady. And then you have to be like, okay, let me actually think about that, in the way that you're saying it. So when you, aside from the children's book that you have now done, and you're probably going to write more in the future.
Oh yes, now right, already written.
Really?
Already written. Well, that's the thing. When the opportunity came for You So Black to be a children's book, I was in the middle of like developing this story that I've been kind of flirting with. But once that book deal was solidified and the stuff, the extra pluses that came in my contract, I was on top of getting that second book like really, really rounded out. And now I've written a third with 2 more kind of like swirling around, waiting to hit the page as well. So I don't know. I might have the bug.
But that's a bug that you don't need a vaccination for. You need to just keep doing it. Because I mean, like, and sometimes it happens like that, right? Yeah. And as writers and as creatives, our art is everything. It takes us in all kinds of directions, and we just have to. I think we have to. I think that's what 2020 and 2021 taught me, to untether, to like stop tying myself down to stuff and allow myself to float with wherever my art is going right now. If it's writing essays, it's writing essays. If it's doing miniatures, it's doing miniatures. If it's finishing this YA novel that's been sitting on my book thing for forever, then it's doing that. And you might have the bug, and I appreciate the bug, because I think that your voice is a very important voice that needs to be heard, and I think that our stories are unique, but not isolated. And that when we talk about representation, I think our young people need to see themselves and their elders, and we need to be able to have that reciprocal energy going, like I'm giving to you and you give back to me kind of thing. So I applaud that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for all the doors kicking themselves open for you. It's so beautiful. Would you have any what are some final words you would like to give to our well audience? If you have questions, you need to put them in the chat. You were told earlier you could do that in the little thing that I put out. But if you what are some words of wisdom or some words of encouragement that you would give to a young person who is starting off, or a artist that maybe needs to have their own permission to like maybe float in another direction, if that makes sense. So it makes sense. I might make sense.
I can say this. My art has always brought me a sense of peace in a place where I may not have felt like I fit in. I spent a lot of my life feeling like I didn't fit in. And being a creator in any way, shape, and form, I make visual art, I do all types of stuff. But it has always been a place for me where my mind feels quiet in a world that is very loud. Whether you think that your art should be shared with others or whether it's just for you, the first step is to make the thing. Make the thing. Whatever the thing is, make the thing. And if you enjoy making the thing, make a couple more things and let that be the place that you operate from, the space of joy in the making. And as you make, share freely, and eventually you will find your people, you will find your path, you will find your calling, you will find your price point, honey, and then you won't have to share for free no more. But in the meantime, don't put any expectation on what should happen with your making. Just make and enjoy making and share.
Yeah, no, that's good words to live by. Thank you so much. I want to thank you for giving up a part of your afternoon to hang out and talk with me about your beautiful, beautiful book, You So Black. And guess what's happening next month? Black History Month, and you should be so black all Black History Month, and buy every black child you know a copy of this book. I'm just saying.
It's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful. I mean, it's really, really gorgeous.
Have you taken off the sleeve, the book sleeve?
No. What's under there?
Take off the book sleeve.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
I know, right?
It's like a. So you know how you have the little Easter eggs in movies where it's like,
yes.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
It gives me. I'm literally trying not to tear up right now. It does it for me every time.
It's gorgeous. Oh my God, thank you. Because I'm always like, protect the book. The cover's on there for a reason. Don't take the cover off.
Too. I had my preview copy of the book for weeks before someone else posted the sleeve reveal, and I was like, wait a minute, that's underneath my book. Oblivious. That's what I was. Oblivious.
That's awesome. No, that was you waiting for your next wave of free song. That's what we'll call it. But I want to thank you so much. Those of you who are interested, and all of you are, because you know you are, Theresa Tha Songbird will be my feature at Exchange Open Mic in March in celebration of Women's History Month. And we'll also be leading a writing workshop on editing, which we know that's something I can't do. So I will totally be there. What? So I hope you will be there too. Please check out the artsexchange.org. We have so many amazing events happening. We just opened a beautiful quilt exhibit called Cover Me. Theresa, when I say these quilts are like mine, these ain't your grandmama's quilts. These are like, I mean, yeah, there's one that every time I go in there, I just get stuck. It's just so beautiful. So please come check out the Arts Exchange quilt exhibit that is happening in the Sinclair Gallery. And check out our website. I have so many awesome things that I do over here to try to keep us and the community literate, thriving, and fabulous, because we all deserve to be that way. Yes. Thank you so much, Theresa Songbird. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, folks who listened and hung out with us. Everybody enjoy your time. And thank you for being here at the Power of Words at the Arts Exchange. Have a good day. Bye-bye. You stay there, though.
Okay.